This is a revolting blob, and you're watching Cold TV. Ah!
Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pro Wrestling 60, where we cover everything that happened in the past week in professional wrestling. I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by my partner in crime, my brother from another mother. He recently just returned from the Sudan, Mr. Broll.
The Sudan?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Chicago.
Oh, we keeping it kayfabe, brother. But no, seriously, yes. So obviously we were off last week because we were in Chi-Town, baby, and man, oh man, what a weekend it was. It was so freaking awesome. Like, and as you saw here all week on Cold TV, we had all sorts of vlogs about it. If you haven't done so, check those out. They're pretty amazing. But you know what, Mr. B-Roll? Before we get into this, we do got to hype up a little bit more of Chicago because your boys, well, we were here, there, and everywhere. And if you don't believe us, check this out.
What's up, everybody? Eddie Kingston here, the Mad King. You know what's up? Starcast is fun, man. I like meeting everybody. I'm sitting here with a hero of mine, Kawada-san. So I'm just happy. Thank you, Starcast. I hope everyone else is having fun.
The Starcast has been amazing. Highly recommend. If you've never been to Starcast, you gotta come here. You won't regret it. It is awesome. So many of them.
All time. It does say cold up there.
You're being filmed.
I'm going to say the Hollywood Hub.
Dude, that's great.
I
have a big surprise. That's me.
Oh, damn. You're a lot bigger than I expected.
Whoa! I always get a much
And I mean that in a good way.
I always get a much smaller.
Bigger is better in this case.
Say.
You're a beautiful man, and I feel comfortable saying that.
Come on, get in. Let's get the photo.
Yeah.
I think you're beautiful too.
Oh, shucks. You're going to make me blush.
I love you. Okay.
Can we just do like this? Is this okay?
Awesome.
There you have it. So, yes, we made the Starcast hype package, and also, yes, we were on Being the Elite. How badass was that?
You understood the assignment.
Yes, indeed. But man, oh man, Chicago was an awesome time. We had a blast. And like I say, if you want to see all those hey, what the hell, man? You ain't the only one that did something in Chicago. Oh, yeah, that's true, Ron. Yeah, why don't you play the clip? All right.
Come with Ron and me as we go check out Pro Wrestling Tees.
They better have some APA shirts here, XLJ. Why the hell am I not on this mural, XLJ? Might as well call this place AEW Tees, cause I don't see no Ron Simmons much. Listen here, you ever try to pull that crap on me on TV? I beat your ass in an instant. But I love your daddy, though. Oh, hell no, Ahmed. Last time I saw you in Chicago, you done stole the Road Warrior spikes. They don't even have my signature on this doll. Damn!
Well, there you have it. We all had a blast in Chicago, nonetheless. But that was last week. We got to get into this week right now, Mr. B-Roll. And why don't you hit us with that beautiful, beautiful line of yours?
The clock starts now. Let's get right into it. And our top story this week is, tell them what it is.
Well, could it be any other? Gunther has become your longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE history. Knew this was going to happen. Just felt it in my heart of hearts that this was going to happen, and it finally came to light this past week. And it amazes me.
General.
Yes, the ring general. If anybody deserves it, it's definitely him. But you know what amazes me is that it took this long to break the Honky Tonk Man's record. Like, I mean, which it was a pretty good record, but like in hindsight, it just doesn't seem like Honky Tonk held the belt for that long. I mean, sorry, not sorry, but I'm sorry, cousin Honky. But just I don't know. Gunther, to me, this has been one of the most phenomenal runs going in all professional wrestling. People talk about Roman's run, and it's pretty impressive, but I am really enjoying Gunther's run, man. I mean, he is just killing it, literally. He's chopped away at the record, and now he is the record holder. Now, here's the real question, Mr. B-Roll. Who the hell is going to beat him?
That is a great question. We have we've talked about this, and we have even theorized he'll just drop the belt because he wants to go for the world title.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I do like the stuff they're doing with Gable. I could see it eventually after a little bit more chasing, but I don't know.
I know a lot of people say Sheamus. That name's been thrown around a lot, but I don't know. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like Mr. Gunther is dropping that belt anytime soon. And of course, as you can only imagine, Gunther is our wrestler of the week here on PW60. But you also mentioned it too, Mr. B-Roll. That match for him to retain and break the record. Man, oh man, it doesn't get more emotional and like closer than that. Like the Gunther versus Chad Gable on Monday Night Raw. Oh my god. Maybe one of the better matches of the year, honestly. And of course, it's going to be our match of the week here on PW60. But I really enjoyed this matchup. I think Chad Gable being that foil. I loved how they built it up where he did beat him by count out to kind of give him some more like credibility and shine. And let me ask you this: are you glad this matchup was on Raw over Payback?
Yes and no.
Yeah, it feels like a pay-per-view level matchup, but I wouldn't want it to be crowded. At least they gave it time to breathe. You know what I mean? It probably would have been
because I'm
rushed.
like, man, like if this wasn't on Raw, like what was accomplished? If anything on Raw. But yeah, and bold prediction. I don't know if you've seen this, but I'm just gonna call her like the Chad Gable girl. Like I think it was his daughter actually, but it gave me instant like Bailey superfan vibes.
Oh yeah, I believe it. I thought it was his kids there or something, but tremendous moment for both of these guys, honestly. Like, Chad Gable is one of those guys who's been there for years, and it's like they seem like they forget about him, and then like he reminds them about him by connecting with the crowd over and over again. I just hope this time around they actually give him a solid run because I mean the guy truly deserves it. He's a phenomenal performer. But this match was, of course, had to be our match of the week. But man, oh man, let's talk about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw was an excellent show, I thought. Had some tremendous moments, of course, topped off with that amazing match. How about that Miz TV segment, man, with John Cena? Pretty impressive. It's nice that he was able to get John to. Oh yeah, that's right. You couldn't see him. I forgot. It amazes me that why has nobody ever done that before? Like, like that's like such a dad joke, that's been going on forever. And nobody's ever, to my knowledge, I don't remember anybody doing a segment like that.
I can't think of it. I can't think of anything either. You know what I am over though?
What's that?
The Viking Raiders.
Really? Well,
yeah.
I don't know. They're not really. I don't feel like they're adequately being used, but that's another story for another
I agree.
time. You know what I'm over? I'll tell you. I'll counteract that. I don't really care for the Drew McIntyre Riddle tag team. I think it's fucking pointless, honestly.
I agree.
Not a fan. Wasting talent. But man, there was some pretty cool moments. And one of them, we got to talk about this. How about Jay getting reunited with Sammy? I'm sorry, that wasn't very oozy of me. Pushes the hand away and hugs. I loved every bit of this segment.
It was the perfect way to like play out that segment. like perfect way. Even at the end with like when Riddle and Drew came out, because it's like after all the things the Bloodline had done to them, like it was just
Yeah. Yeah, I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I'm excited to see what this run for main event Jay is going to be on Monday Night Raw, and we're going to find out. But let's face facts, they're not the ones who run Monday Night Raw. As we all know, it is the Judgment Day show. We're in the Judgment Day era. And how about the upgrade for the Senior Money in the Bank briefcase?
available
That,
now at WWEshop.com.
yeah. Hey, man, I got to say that silver and purple is looking pretty sharp, man. I'm digging it.
Yeah,
But
I feel like they could have splurged a little for the Senor, but
yeah, it is kind of just slapped on there like it's a damn magnet, but oh well. It is what it is. But overall, Monday Night Raw was a pretty solid show. Now, how about this in the world of the WWE? The most talked about guy going right now. Yeah. LA Knight signs a new deal with the WWE. Yeah. And now is being booked as the #1 babyface on Friday Night SmackDown. Mr. B-Roll, what do you have to say to this?
let me talk to you.
Yeah. I am so tickled pink about this, man. Like, this is so long overdue for him. I mean, as you all know, his career, like, just bouncing around here and there, just like, it seemed like for whatever reason, people just weren't buying into him, which I don't understand why it took this long for them to realize, like, the greatness that is LA Knight. But WWE is going all in on LA Knight, and like I say, man, I could not be happier about it. Like, this guy truly deserves it. And man, oh man, he was all over Friday Night SmackDown, wasn't he? So you had LA Knight, and what about the promo he had against Theory and Grayson Waller? I thought that was freaking hilarious. And then also going up against Grayson Waller, and then the confrontation. The backstage segment with Paul Heyman there, man. Like I say, LA Knight was all over the screen on Friday night, and I'm here for it, man.
Speaking of confrontations, though,
Yes.
getting a little bit of Asuka, Io.
Ooh, yes. I am pumped for that.
Getting a little bit of Judgment Day, Hurt Business.
Yeah, which I'm here for.
Who's been talking about that? Don't know.
You've been talking about the Hurt Business for a long, long time. And then, of course, in your main event, Jimmy Uso going up against the phenomenal AJ Styles. I thought SmackDown was a pretty solid show. I felt like it was definitely what I enjoyed the most about it was obviously the LA Knight stuff. But in comparison to Raw, I do think Raw was a little bit stronger this week. But there was a lot going on there on Monday Night Raw. And speaking of SmackDown, there is a lot of speculation going on with the future of Friday Night SmackDown. Future so much so of where will SmackDown land, because their contract is coming up for renewal, and WWE wants a significant amount more money for the rights to air SmackDown, and they can probably demand it. They'll probably get it too. But it doesn't seem like Fox is wanting to budge and pay any more for SmackDown. So let me ask you, B-Roll, where do you think SmackDown could possibly end up?
Oh, your guess is as good as mine.
This
ESPN.
boy, oh boy. Well, I feel like there's been a lot of talks about the House of Mouse coming in and trying to get some rights to air WWE content. So you never know, man. So it'll be interesting.
Never know.
It'll be interesting to see. Well, Mr. B-Roll, it's coming that time of the show. Let's go to our Tribal Queen, Bree, with her Tribal Queen tidbit of the week.
Hello, everyone. This is your Tribal Queen, Bree, with your Tribal Queen tidbit of the week. Again, I'm going to be talking about my favorite Austin Theory. And also, I want to address this to Triple H. Triple H, can you please make Austin Theory and Grayson Waller a tag team and call them the Pretty Boys? I've said this for weeks now, that they would be so perfect. Their chemistry on SmackDown on Friday was just chef's kiss. They need to be a tag team. And they may not have the tag team belts, but, it's might be some comedic relief. You know, that's all I ask for. But that is your Tribal Queen quick tidbit of the week.
Yeah, she loves her some A-Town down. That would be a fun team. It seems like a good tandem to put together. Well, Mr. B-Roll, did you know Superstar Spectacle took place this past Friday in India?
I did not.
I didn't know. Like nobody else did know. So pretty much, yes, let's call a spade a spade. This glorified house show for India did take place, but the big thing was John Cena was in action as he teamed up with Seth freaking Rollins to go up against Imperium. You also had Rhea Ripley in action against Natalya. You had some NXT talent represented. Braun Breaker going up against Odyssey Jones. Gunther once again defending his Intercontinental Championship against talent from overseas, Shanky. And then you also had Drew McIntyre teaming up with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to take on Indus Sheer and along with Jinder Mahal. So I don't know. It happened. That's all we really got to say about that. You know, it is what it is. So, but man, oh man, we got to bear witness. We talked about Chicago. You talk about a new era that has begun in AEW, man, and I am so excited for it. First and foremost, it looks like Bryan Danielson will be at the forefront of Saturday Night Collision, as it seems like he will be your new top star on Collision, as well as working back behind the scenes too, as well. So, such a great talent. And man, oh man, how about some huge news he announced this week on Collision? It looks like Brian's only going to be wrestling for about another year. So that is interesting to see, but I'm sure he'll still be on hand behind the scenes. But you know what? He gets to go out. He gets to do it on his own. And I think this next year for him may be his best year yet. So it's going to be interesting to see. And I think Collision is just as fun as it was before, if not better. But yes, folks.
Okay, hold
Talk
on.
about the LO.
Before we leave Bryan Danielson, real quick, I just want to get a real quick opinion.
Yeah.
Should he hold the AEW World Title before he hangs it up?
He doesn't need to, but I personally would like to see him to do it. But he doesn't need to.
I agree.
Yeah. But I'm so glad you brought that up. But unfortunately, yes, we do have to talk about this damn elephant in the room. I hope, Mr. B-Roll, I really hope this is the last time we talk about them for a long time, but I don't think it will be. But yes, we all know we were there in Chicago when this happened. CM Punk is officially gone from AEW. Also, Ace Steel has been let go. Shocker there. There's a little bit of like up in the air controversy as far as like the contract that CM Punk had. Like everybody's speculating, okay, when is he going to wrestle next? Where's he going? Look at me. Honestly, people, stop it with this. Seriously. You really think CM Punk's going to go back to WWE, especially after this second run? I mean, I just don't. I think Punk's done with wrestling. And honestly, and I don't hate, I've said this many times before, I don't hate Punk. I don't like Punk. I want to be done with Punk, and I want to be done with him for a while. So let's just kind of let him go off, do his own thing, whatever, I don't care. Just let's stop talking about the damn thing.
Yeah.
But I do think, honestly, now I do feel like with him being gone, I don't know. I feel like a breath of fresh air. And I mean, we were there personally in Chicago, and everybody's thinking the Chicago crowd's going to hijack the show. They didn't. The Chicago crowd enjoyed it. And honestly, I think at this point, even Chicago is a little over CM Punk. And that tells you something and speaks volumes. But nonetheless, like I say, we are in a new era. And speaking of talking about All Out, you look like you're ready for a little spicy take with our good friend Spicy Guac. Check this out.
Spicy Guac with a spicy take, letting you know that AEW's All Out proved two things. One, AEW is successful with or without CM Punk, and having a Chicago show without the Chicago-made Punk solidified the fact that they can do whatever they want. Nobody's going to stop them. They're going to be successful. And two, big meaty men slap meat is the way to go. I'm just saying.
Meat. Meat.
Because meat unites us all.
That's right, man.
Meat forever.
Oh God, what a moment that was! But seriously, and what a moment this past week was Dynamite in our hometown. And yes, I was there for this event, and I got to tell you, it was pretty awesome. And hey, guess what? Tune in later this week on Cold TV. We're gonna have a very special vlog about my experience of going to Dynamite as well as Rampage in Indianapolis. But I thought this was a great Dynamite following up from All Out. Once again, just going in the right path, a new era in AEW. Number one, we've talked about it. Like Orange Cassidy was made into a megastar last Sunday at All Out, and for him to come out and do that, cut that promo, if you want to call it a promo, or just Orange Cassidy to come out, and then just Mox comes out and he has that look on his face. God, it was so good, so well done. Absolutely love that. The Mox AR Fox match was great. Love seeing Emi Sakura on my TV going up against Chris Statlander was a fun matchup. Man, what a tag match with the Sex Gods against Aussie Open. That thing was on fire. That almost probably would have been our match of the week if it wasn't for the Gunther Chad Gable match, honestly. It was that damn good. And I feel like with Aussie Open, the more we keep seeing them on like major television, the better they're getting, which is crazy because they're like one of the best tag teams going today, man.
They are darn good. I tell you something. I would love to see the East West Express against them on a bigger stage.
That would be pretty good. We got to witness that over a year ago, but man, you're right. It would be great to see that on a bigger stage. The Grand Slam tournament kicked off on Dynamite as well. As you saw, Roderick Strong advance over Trent, which was a great matchup. And that main event, oh my goodness, Nick Wayne and Darby Allin. Oh, baby. Like, what a phenomenal matchup that was. Of course, Darby advancing on into the tournament. But something I want to talk about, though, like two things. First off, the MJF promo. Oh man, like just white meat babyface, but just with the MJF spin on it, and then like Joe getting his shit in, and like Joe going toe to toe with MJF too. I love the line where he's talking about the ice cream truck, and it was just like, yeah, I'm the number one star on their the other competitors' network, of course, alluding to his Twisted Metal role. So I thought that was pretty badass. And come on, it's got to be Joe and MJF at Grand Slam. But I mean, of course, we still got a tournament to see what happens. But nonetheless, and also speaking of promos, Hangman coming out for a promo. And how about Swerve Strickland having a moment, man? What a promo he cut on Hangman. It was like, damn, dude. Talking about if he had the opportunities that Hangman had, he would have already been the first African American AEW champion. What do you make of that moment between Swerve and Hangman?
It's interesting because I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah.
And
a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. I imagine they're probably going to have a big match at Wrestle Dream, maybe with Swerve being from
Seattle area.
Yeah. Seattle area.
Yeah. It's a good possibility, but we'll find out soon enough. But I got to tell you, being there like pretty much ringside for this, buddy, like I was dying laughing when Prince Nana came out first and just like, did you see those dance moves? Like, yeah. So, but I have it on good authority. You know who we have to blame for that, my friend? I think
only one man.
Only one man. That's right. Let's go to Best Gout as he tells us about his teaching of the Prince Nana dance.
As we know, I taught MJF and Adam Cole their moves along with other people such as Shania Twain. But I also taught Prince Nana how to do the swerve. And I want to teach you how to do the swerve. So right now I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to swerve like Swerve Strickland. All right, the first step in doing it is, the song begins, and then once he starts with that, I swear when I drive, I swear when I drive, I swear when I drive, I swear when I drive. You don't really have to do it to the rhythm. Just gotta sway your hands side to side, sort of like you're like a windshield wiper, or like you're driving, and you're like, hey, Jesus, take the wheel. I need to take this right now. I gotta let go because I did not know that it was I who started that fire next door, and I murdered all those families of squirrels. Not a single person got hurt, but they're all homeless now, and it's all because of me. Swear when I drive, I swear when I drive. This part to get a little risque, you put your one hand up and put your hand on your belly like this and like right above your crotch, and you kind of like, you're making the babies, you gotta keep going, you're making the babies, you gotta put all your thrust, all your sexuality into your thrust right there, you gotta keep going, like, you're gonna have like a child, you're gonna have to pay child support like for the next 18 years, and you're like, hey, I want my kid to go to college, but unfortunately in California, if your kid goes to college, that's like 2 more years of paying child support after they turn 18, but it's all gonna be worth it because you got sweet moves. Well, now you know how to do the Prince Nana. I like to think you learned a little something. I think I learned a little something. We're all better human beings now. Me particularly am the better human being. You smell great.
Thanks, Best Scout. We love you. Oh man, and hey, Friday Night Rampage was an awesome show, and like I say, I was fortunate enough to be there for this. Got to see some more of the Grand Slam tournament as Samoa Joe would defeat Jeff Hardy in the main event to advance, and Penta would defeat Jay Lethal to advance. Also, the Young Bucks were in action, which was great to see them because you don't see them on Rampage a whole lot, honestly. And the trios match between Taya Valkyrie, Anna Jay, and the Bunny going up against Sheeta, Sky Blue, and Britt Baker. And once again, kind of teasing a little dissension between between Britt and Sheeta. Interesting to see, though. But it was Grand Slam, or Rampage was a great show. But as the tournament continued on Collision on Saturday night, Samoa Joe did defeat Penta to advance to the finals, and Roderick Strong defeated Darby Allin. So it's interesting. Those two will meet in the finals, which will be this upcoming Wednesday on Dynamite, which is in Cincinnati, and I'll be there for that one too.
Stop making me jealous, bro.
I'm sorry, but guess what? It's okay, bro, because you're going to be with me in spirit, as well as you'll be able to see a vlog on that next week. But that's next week. But yes, Collision, solid show. Once again, in this new era with Bryan Danielson heavily involved. And Danielson kind of, what a promo he had. And Ricky Starks kind of coming out too. I find it interesting, B-roll, the stuff that they're doing with Blackpool Combat Club. Because you notice it seems like on one show they're heels and the other show they're kind of like baby faces, sort of. It's kind of an interesting dynamic because it's like I think even Danielson kind of said that they kind of borderline as like tweeners kind of here and there.
Is it the whole group, or do you feel like
It's mainly Danielson, but then Mox is kind of like Mox comes to the rescue and everybody loves Mox. I think if you were look at the stronger heels, I guess you could say would be Claudio and Wheeler, I suppose, but I don't know. It's just an interesting what they are doing. But tell you what else I'm interested in seeing. I'm excited about seeing. This is why I love Collision, where you've got Town on there. Looks like we're finally going to be getting to see a Keith Lee singles run. Thank you, Jesus. And I cannot wait to see how that goes. And man, Collision, you may as well call it the Saturday night show where big meaty men slap meat, because you got Miro on there, of course, Powerhouse. Now you got Keith Lee in the mix, man. There's some big boys over on Collision.
Meat forever. Meat forever.
Meat. Let's just change the name to Meat Forever. But once again, overall, Collision was a fun show. It was a great week for AEW. Like I say, coming off of the controversy with the Punk stuff and just moving forward, step in the right direction. But we have got a lot to look forward in the world of All Elite Wrestling. And also, gosh, you know what? I completely spaced it and forgot this. Jade Cargill returned, man. This was a huge moment. A little surprised to see her return on Collision. I thought maybe we would have seen this in Chicago or something. Were you surprised just to see it on Collision?
See, that's kind of why I was wondering. Like, if she was ready to come back, like why Why don't we do something at the pay-per-view?
Agreed. Yeah, it kind of threw me off a little bit, but I mean, it's great to see her back, and obviously going to be feuding with Statlander. And that's going to be interesting to see, like, because remember, Jade's only lost the one match to Statlander, and that was kind of a little questionable because she had already wrestled too that night. So, does Jade get her belt back, or does Jade just say hell with it and go for the world title? I don't know, but it's great to see her back in the mix, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do for her next. But oh my God, it's finally happening, B-roll. I don't even need to know any other matches. Go ahead and take my $50 or whatever the hell it's going to cost. The first match for Wrestle Dream has been announced, and man, oh man, this is going to be a barn burner. Bryan Danielson one-on-one against Zack Sabre Jr. This is a match we've wanted for years. Thought we were going to get it at the last two Forbidden Doors, but now we are going to get it at this tribute show to Antonio Inoki. And dude, God, how excited are you for this matchup?
Pretty stoked. And it's dawning on me to think, if Bryan Danielson wins, he will have beaten Okada and Zack Sabre Jr. all in the same year.
Yeah, and Ricky Starks and so many more in between. Yeah, man. It's gonna be an exciting matchup. Of course, it is in his home state or in his hometown in Seattle. So Wrestle Dream, it'll be here October the 1st, and I can't wait to see it, man. It's gonna be an awesome show, I think. Speaking of awesome shows, we're a couple weeks away from Grand Slam 3 at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. And already we know the winner of the Eliminator Tournament will face MJF for the AEW Championship, aka Samoa Joe. Although Roderick Strong does have a claim to it too, so it's gonna be interesting to see how that goes.
There's a story for each of them to face them.
Yeah, so that aspect of it is interesting, but I can't see it not being Samoa Joe. But that's no disrespect to Roddy, but we're gonna find out this Wednesday who will be going, as well as we're also gonna find out who will be challenging Saraya for her first title defense, as there will
Tony.
be hold on, there's gonna be a four-way match with Tony Storm, Britt Baker, Nyla Rose, and I believe Sheeta. Is Sheeta in that match?
I think so.
Yes. Probably Tony, but I got a feeling it's going to be Britt, because I think that how apropos would it be Britt Baker and Saraya one-on-one a year ago, almost to the day where Saraya made her debut and come out to confront Britt? It'd be pretty interesting. But I think it's either going to be Britt or Tony. And I love what Tony Storm's doing right now. This is like her best work she's done of her career, in my opinion. Chin up,
amazing.
Tits out, and watch for the shoe. Also, we did find out that we were going to get a one-on-one matchup between Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara at Arthur Ashe Stadium as well. So, and I'm sure we're going to get some more matches announced later this week as well. But already shaping up to be a fun show. And also, don't forget about that Grand Slam Rampage as well. That'll be a fun one as well. So, but
Great Muda showed up last year, so.
Oh yeah. So AEW, like I say, I feel like we are back on track. We've got some great shows lined up. I mean, not only these two, but also you got Full Gear in November. It's looking good. Things are looking really, really nice. Well, Mr. B-Roll, our good close personal friend, or your lover, Sienna, has been killing it out in California for South Bay Championship Wrestling as their ring announcer. But this is really cool because Sienna was able to get an interview for us for PW60 with a former WWE talent. Check this out.
Hey there, everyone. This is your girl, Sienna Chanel, or SC for short. I'm here with former WWE superstar Vix Crow, formerly known as Alicia Fox, and I got like 5 simple questions to ask you. Okay, so favorite photo filter?
Oh my gosh, like on TikTok?
Anywhere.
Oh, I guess anything with like butterflies or some kind of nature coming out of my face.
Alright. Favorite song on your workout playlist?
Okay, it's some, oh, you know what? I love that Mexican OT right now.
Ooh, nice.
All of it.
Love it, love it. Favorite opponent of your career?
Oh gosh, Gail Kim. There's so many. Gail Kim, Trinity, Kong. We worked one time, but I wish, Nina. I guess, there's so many. There's just so many. But that's just a start.
What's your Starbucks order?
Oh, that's so funny. I like little sugar, little cream, cold brew.
Awesome. Favorite memory of your career?
Okay, my favorite memory was the first time I got called on the road, and they said I was going to LaGuardia, and I asked if I needed my passport, and I did it.
All right, and
Yeah.
I think this is a bonus question because I lost track. I know there's a 5 question, whatever. What is your overall everything? What is going on in the world of wrestling?
What's going on in the world of wrestling? Well, I am just head over the moon, tickled up that I get to go and participate in the independent scene and meet these new women that are expanding our art, and people like you that are helping bring a voice to the art, and just really being welcome into the other side of the industry.
All right, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Get back to you. Thank you.
That was awesome. A huge shout out to Fix Crow, of course. We're so excited to see what you're going to do next. Of course, she had an incredible run in WWE, very underrated talent, I think, and I cannot wait to see what she's going to do on the indie scene, as well as a huge shout out to our girl Sienna and South Bay Wrestling as well. So, but hey, it was a big week this week for Impact Wrestling too. As this week we had Deonna Purrazzo was in action. Of course, you had Joe Hendry and Umura in tag action, which I'm loving that team, by the way. Like that's like a guilty pleasure. I got to be honest. I was pissed, and I know we've talked about this when Hendry lost the digital title, but I'm really happy with what they're doing with him right now. It seems like you can give him anything, and it's going to be gold. You know what I mean?
Can I get a Joya?
Joya. Oh, that sounded creepy when I did it. Also, Subculture was in action, taking on Rich Swann and Sami Callihan. Of course, you had the Victory Road Knockouts title signing, and Bully Ray and Steve Macklin teaming up to go up against PCO and Josh Alexander. But let's get right into it. Let's talk about Victory Road. Was this past Friday night. Pretty solid show as always, man. Like Impact delivering, man. We say it here before, we'll say it again. Do not be sleeping on Impact Wrestling because they deliver a hell of a product and a hell of a show. I mean, this show was lined up. Even the pre-show matches. I mean, you had Alan Angels, that open challenge, and it was Little Guido, which I marked the hell out for because I love Little Guido. ABC in action going up against Moose and Brian Myers, and that's just the pre-show, folks. Your X Division title was on the line as Leo Rush defended against Kushida. Also, you had MK Ultra retain their Knockouts tag titles against Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans, or the Shantaraj, if you will. This was the moment, though, for me. Tommy Dreamer winning the Impact Digital Media Championship and also keeping his career going. And how awesome. What a tribute to Terry Funk and the tights and stuff. Wasn't that freaking awesome, man?
Yeah, I mean, it almost brought a tear to my eye when he came out.
Absolutely. Crazy Steve was in action up against Black Taurus. Jordan Grace returning to Impact, going up against your girl Deonna Purrazzo. Of course, Frankenstein's monster himself, PCO, defeating Bully Ray. And the Rascals retaining their Impact tag titles against the Motor City Machine Guns. Could we be seeing a future title shot for one of the Rascals? Maybe. I don't know. Of course, Trinity retained her Knockouts championship against Alicia Edwards, and Josh Alexander defeated Steve Macklin in the main event. And it looks like old Josh Alexander is moving on to Bound for Glory. to challenge for the Impact World title, which, I mean, makes sense, right? I mean, he never really lost it; he had to forfeit it. So, oh man, looking like we're gonna get him and Alex Shelley. That's gonna be a classic, and I can't wait to see it.
Love me some Josh Alexander.
And then also an Impact this week. What a huge moment this was, B-roll. It was announced that Mike Tenay and Don West will be inducted this year in the Impact Hall of Fame for Bound for Glory. I mean, truer guys don't deserve it better. I mean, they were literally the voice of Impact Wrestling, the voice of TNA when I first started watching TNA years ago. These are the guys I remember the most, and they were a great duo, man. The late great Dom West and Mike Tenay, one of the all-time greats. So appropriate, man. Oh man, that video package they aired that hit me in the feels, dude. I'm not gonna lie. It was beautiful, but it was also like kind of like, oh my gosh, it was so hard to watch, man. What you make of this? I know like you kind of know a little bit about these guys, but I know you know a little bit about Dom West, but what do you think of them going into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, I guess more less I'm more surprised that they weren't already in it.
Well, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, you would think they would be in it, but yeah, they're going in there now, and like I say, you don't have any guys that deserve it any more better than these two. So, congratulations! We here at PW60 are so happy for Mike Tenay and Dom West to go into the Impact Hall of Fame. Well, Mr. B-roll, it's that time of the show. Let's go to the CDC for your New Japan report.
Greetings from Earth. I am the CDC 83 here with your quick recap of what happened this week with New Japan Pro Wrestling. The key highlights. This week's New Japan featured the beginnings for the Road to Destruction, featuring action on the 8th, 9th, and 10th of this week. The 8th, I'm actually going to not cover other than just kind of talk about what we see here in the screenshot. The reason I'm not covering is because this is a free to watch event for everyone. So even if you don't have a New Japan Pro Wrestling account, you can still go on to njpwworld.com and watch it for free. So no spoiler review here other than what's pictured here. Originally, Bolton Oleg was actually scheduled to compete as he had won a special event in order to challenge. However, unfortunately, he ended up with an injury to his wrist that got infected, so they had to pull him. But they put in Oiwa, and look who's his corner man. It was announced also during this time that he will actually be put on to loan with Noah, basically invited over by Kaito Kiyomiya. So excited to see how that all turns out for him, but he is now officially graduated out of Young Lions and is on his way to Excursion. The other piece of feature from this evening that I will cover and talk about real quick is that Evil and Show have titles now. Yes, once again, they are both now holding still the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship and the KOPW title, further taunting both Taichi and Sonata, who are the actual holders. The next night of action saw lots of great matchups. Some key features of the evening first featured the NJPW TV title. Zack Sabre Jr. still holding on to it, defeated Kojima with an armbar of sorts. It's Zack Sabre Jr. Look at this. He's all over the place. Also during the event on the 9th, the never open weight 6-man tag championships were on the line and defended and successfully retained by the current champions Ishimori, Tanahashi, and Okada. The final matchup also saw Los Ingobernables de Japón going up against the team of United Empire. Interesting thing of note for this is that the United Empire did win by Jeff Cobb doing a drop kick onto Naito in the victory via countout. Jeff Cobb would then go on to drop some bombs onto Naito, one being that he plans on challenging Naito in the coming weeks in Kobe, where he will actually try to defeat him and basically take his place at the Tokyo Dome for Wrestle Kingdom. We'll see how all this transpires. Another thing to note about this series of events, while I'm thinking about it, Chris Charlton actually was the lead announcer for this event so far. Congratulations, Chris. All your hard work has paid off, and you did an excellent job. The last night of action saw the return of Blue Justice 13 as part of the Road to Destruction event series. The show opened with a touching tribute to the late Terry Funk, who had recently passed away around the same time as Bray Wyatt, also known as Wyndham Rotunda. Also, with this one, there is a free video tribute you can see also on njpwworld.com. However, this one is in Japanese, so take it for what it is. They may do an English release later. The Blue Justice event, unfortunately, was only Japanese commentary at this time. In the end, there was several matches that actually were of the most interest. Those were the latter half of the event. In one of the matches, we saw TMDK go up against Chaos, Zack Sabre Jr. getting the roll-up pin on Ishii. Then we saw two rematches of a sort with United Empire and Los Ingobernables de Japón. The first one featuring a three-man matchup with Hanare, the Great Okan, and Jeff Cobb, defeated out via submission the Los Ingobernables team. The second of the matches saw a reversal of that fate, though, as Hiromu got the pin. Following this matchup was a rematch of sorts with Just Five Guys versus House of Torture. Unfortunately, once again, House of Torture wins, and, well, they do House of Torture things. Poor Taka. The last match of the night saw these two legends go at it again as part of a six-man tag match. Unfortunately, this match did result in a time limit draw, which, happens sometimes in New Japan, but not often. So kind of left everyone wanting and everyone still chomping at the bit, and clearly setting up some possible rivalries and things to come down the future and down the road as we continue on with the Road to Destruction. Outside of the Road to Destruction, there were a couple of matches that have been announced for some coming events with New Japan. The first is that we do have confirmation we will be getting Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson at Wrestle Dream. The other matchup that was announced, we will see Eddie Kingston versus Claudio Castagnoli in a title for title match. That'll wrap up your quick recap of the things and happenings in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling of note. I've been the CDC 83 from Earth. Goodbye.
I am so glad, CDC. I mentioned that. I completely forgot about the title for title match that got added too, as well as Great Grand Slam with Eddie Kingston and Claudio. And damn it, Eddie Kingston better win. I'm just saying. But going on also in the world of Japanese wrestling, we cannot forget the 5-star Grand Prix is still going on in Stardom. And Mr. B-Roll, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. And for a report on that, let's go to our Stardom expert, Light Skin Gaijin.
So with the 5-star Grand Prix just starting to heat up, and with 3 weeks left in the tournament, things are starting to take shape. Hello everybody, I'm the Light Skin Gaijin, Denard Ramon, and this is your 5-star Grand Prix recap. Legendary Corrigan Hall would play host to Night 15 of the 5-star Grand Prix, and with that we were treated to 4 excellent matches on this card. The Sky Tiger would go one-on-one against the Wild Heart, however it would be Hazuki who walked out victorious. Reigning World of Stardom champion Tam Nakano went one-on-one against Suzu Suzuki, however it would be the Crazy Girl who would score the upset victory over the reigning Red Belt champion. Mirai would go one-on-one against Saori No, and yet the Untamable was able to score an upset victory over the reigning Wonder of Stardom champion. And in the main event, Donna Del Mondo would take center stage as Micah went one-on-one with faction leader Julia, which of course saw Julia come out on top victorious. But the big story at the end of this match was Micah and Suzu Suzuki, alongside with Megasis Megan Bain, throwing out the challenge to challenge Julia, Tekla, and Mai Sakurai for the artist belts, which leaves not much of a change in the standings so far. Natsuko Tora still in the lead with 12 points, however Natsupoi and Shori are not far behind with 9. Tam Nakano and Mayu Iwatani are tied at 7, while Suzu Suzuki and Hazuki are gaining ground. In the Blue Stars, Julia still maintains her lead, but by a very narrow margin. Utami Hayashishita and Saori Ano are gaining ground in the Blue Stars. However, so too are Mariah May and Wonder of Stardom champion Mirai. The 5-star Grand Prix continues next weekend as Tam Nakano will face Ami Sourei Saturday night, as well as Hazuki going one-on-one against Natsupoi. Micah will face off against Azumi in Blue Stars action. And then on Sunday, Suzu Suzuki will try her hands against Ami Sourei, while Momo Watanabe will go one-on-one against Hanan. And the night concludes when the Wonder of Stardom champion Mirai goes one-on-one against Club Venus member Mariah May. Also, you're going to want to check out Stardom's Dream Tag Festival that happens Sunday, September 10th, when it is made available on Stardom World. That's stardom-world.com, where you'll be able to see dream tag team matches you thought you'd never see, where Azumi and Starlight Kid will team up to face the team of Mayu Iwatani and Saki Kashima. Or how about rivals Julia and Suzu Suzuki going up against another pair of rivals in Utami Hayashishita and Micah? Or how about the team of the Momos, Momo Watanabe and Momo Kogo, against Hanan and Mariah May? And don't forget that Saturday, September 30th, the 5-star Grand Prix concludes live from the Yokohama Budokan. Until then, this is the light-skinned Gaijin Denard Ramon. And remember, Joshi Wrestling is for everyone.
Well, there you go, man. It's coming up pretty soon. We will see the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix up on September 30th. Well, let's also talk about what happened this week on NXT. We got to see the Heritage Cup tournament get started or get going, as well as we got a surprise guest. And oh yeah, Braun Breaker tried to unalive Von Wagner. Like what were they thinking? Like what was that? Like how they went off the air is just like what? Like why do you want to? And I also thought in my mind too, I wonder what Breeze thinks about this.
Like, was
'cause
she
loves Von
happy? Happy? Was she sad? Like,
I think I know the answer to it, but I'm not going to say it on here. But anyways, yeah, what did you make of the Braun Breaker Von Wagner ending? That was just kind of, huh?
it was weird because everyone was like, seemed like making a big deal about it, and then like they ended up like showing footage from the other side, and you're like, oh, he's fine.
Well, I'm glad he didn't murder him because I don't want to see murder on my television. I'm just saying.
I want to talk about the next slide.
Yes, let's talk about that because we said there was a surprise. And how about this? The man, Becky Lynch, showing up in NXT, or at least on the screen there. Because remember, Tiffany Stratton showing up at Payback, kind of like calling her out. And it looks like we're getting a Becky Lynch-Tiffany Stratton matchup for the NXT Women's Championship. And remember, this is the one title that the man has not held in her illustrious career. Mr. B-Roll, is Becky Lynch going to be your next NXT Women's Champion?
No.
You don't think so, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I think Tiffany Stratton's on a great run right now. I'd like to see that have some more time added to it. So I'm not ready to see her drop the strap yet. Also, too, I would rather see it be another talent that could defeat her, like a like a Lyra Valkyrie or like a even like maybe returning Nikita Lyons or something like that. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the world of NXT. And speaking of NXT, is Gable Stevenson done with the WWE? All signs are like the rumors are that he's done, although he did work a match here recently. It would have been his second matchup. I think more or less the real kind of like the belief that he's done is because he's already stated that he does want to go for the world championship in amateur wrestling. So that would keep him tied up a little bit. But I don't know. I just got a feeling I don't think we're quite yet done seeing one Gable Stevenson in the WWE. What do you think?
I honestly, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little confused because like they did that whole like big like decision thing, like the LeBron thing. So
Now
yeah.
what?
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Like we always say here on PW60. Well, there's always so much going on in the world of professional wrestling, especially on the indie scene. So let's go to Michael for an indie report about some great shows you should be checking.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Michael DePostos with another independent wrestling event report. First off, we have Southern Wrestling Association presents Danger Zone, September 23rd. 69 Northwell Drive, Laurel, Mississippi. Doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7. The second event was American Wrestling Experience presents the American Summer Series. Saturday, September 16th at the Polish National Alliance Hall at 638 Page Avenue, Jackson, Michigan, with a 7:05 bell time. And lastly, we have House of Glory presents Fallout for Friday, September 15th at the NYC Arena on 144th place, Jamaica, Queens, New York City. The bell time for that, or the event start time for that, is 8 p.m. You can find any of these companies on Facebook. Just type it up. And hopefully you guys can find ticket information on their websites or on their Facebook pages, because I wasn't able to find it. But yeah, that's your report for the day.
Yeah, he's on it, man. He's always finding the good shows. But also, there is a new talent that is taking storm on the independent scene right now. And this guy is killing it. I think he's only had a couple matches. And we here have some exclusive footage at PW60. Check out the new a name that's going to be a household name here very soon. Check out Gustavo.
That's only two, Nikki.
Quit complaining! I like you.
The refs don't like you either. No one likes you.
You keep screaming. Onto this one rope.
Boo!
Boo, you mark!
Boo!
I just blocked waiting.
Yeah!
Oh my God! Kill him! Kill the carrot! What? That's how this makeup.
I know, right?
He's an alligator now.
Boo. How's that feel, Nikki? How's that feel, Nikki? Oh.
Man, oh man, Mustafa with a spine buster that would make Arn Anderson blush there, man. Of course, huge shout out to our boy Spicy, going for his dreams, man. We couldn't be more happier and prouder of you, my friend. But man, oh man, it's awesome to see him getting in the ring there and mixing it up. Well, in more news here in the world of professional wrestling this past week, it was announced that the Dudley Boys have signed a Legends deal with the WWE. So, obviously, going to be seeing some merch from them, but maybe possibly seeing some on screen from them in the ring. You never know, because in the world of pro wrestling, never say never, folks. But it'll be interesting to see. And it was announced that Crown Jewel will be returning to Saudi Arabia. Yay! November the 4th. Yay. And you will see this premium live event over on the Peacock. But that's his coming back. No surprise there.
Do you want me to give you one good thing about it?
Oh, it's in the afternoon, yeah.
Doesn't it at least start in the afternoon?
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, and the last Saudi show was pretty good. So I don't know. Maybe they deliver on this one. We'll have to wait and see. Now this is interesting. Cardi B is wanting to mix it up in the WWE, perhaps wanting to throw down maybe at WrestleMania. I don't know, man, but she's got the attitude. She's got the spirit, if you will. I could see her in a WWE ring. What do you think?
I totally could see it.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. So, be interesting to see what happens there. And in some sad news, it looks like Hacksaw Jim Duggan back in the hospital again, was hospitalized over the weekend. We here at PW60 want to wish him well and getting better and getting back on the road to recovery. Of course, we all know he's had some really bad health issues over the past couple of years, especially with like colon cancer. So hopefully everything's going to be okay for Hacksaw. More pulling for your tough guy. Ho! Now this I found very interesting, Mr. B-roll. A little bit of beef between Saraya and Emi Sakura. There was a video surfacing that really was breaking my heart, man. Like of Emi at All in tears because Saraya was coming out to Queen. Now, for those of you who don't know, Emi Sakura is probably the biggest Freddie Mercury fan on the planet. Matter of fact, when she first kind of came into AEW, a lot of her character was modeled after the late great Freddie Mercury. So, but they had some things to say each other this past week. A little bit of a beef, possibly leading to a matchup. Who knows? But I am all for getting some more Emi Sakura on my television. I'm just saying, dude. So, and this was interesting too. Speaking of, all in pay per views and whatnot, it looks like WBD or Warner Brothers Discovery is wanting more pay-per-views from AEW. Now, there's a rumor. Once again, this is a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. There was a rumor that originally they were wanting All Out to be the first show premiering on HBO Max as a live stream. But apparently the technology, they didn't have it or something or other. So that got scrapped, but supposedly the technology's there now. So if Tony Khan in the next couple weeks says, I got a big announcement, could be announcing that Wrestle Dream's going to be available on HBO Max, and God, I hope it is the case because I love AEW. Want to keep watching these shows, but man, oh man, my pocketbook is taking a beating right now, Mr. B-Roll. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna like go to a monthly format.
Oh yeah, yep,
Like,
yeah, yes, indeedy. Well, it's that time of the week here. Let's go to Brian with Brian's random moment of the week.
Hello, it's time for Brian's. Sorry, needed some coffee. Try it again. Brian's random moment of the week. Oh, America, red, white, and blue. So, going to get back to our series on this part of my segment. Here on the P to the W to the 6 to the 0, PW60, and looking at factions and your ultimate versions of them. Now, this one will be interesting because I want to talk about evolution is a mystery. That's right. Evolution had a short run, but known as a great faction, of course, and you know, very cool faction in that sense. So again, looking at, of course, you had your 4 members: Triple H, Flair, Randy Orton, and Batista. Now, here's the interesting thing about this one. This is the format I want to go with. It's kind of a multi-layer, like a 7-layer dip or something. You're going to keep 2. Build your ultimate version of Evolution. Now, what they were, you could say is ultimate version, but for fun and for creative purposes, you keep 2 and remove 2. Now, tell me first, which 2 do you keep? Do you keep, let's say, Batista and Triple H? Triple H and Flair? Any combination, tell me the 2 you keep. Which then means tell me the 2 you're getting rid of. And then the third part of the equation is tell me, when you get rid of 2, let's say if you got rid of Flair and Batista, who are 2 people you put in their place? And remember, this can be anybody from WWE in that time frame, or it could be anybody from another company, maybe from Impact Wrestling, like, let's say, AJ Styles back in that day when he had the short hair and all that. So, yeah, build your ultimate version of Evolution. Keep 2, remove 2, and who are the 2 to take those spots? Bye for now.
Oh, Brian, we love you, brother. And as always, we love our Wrestle Talk family. And for this week, we have a very special Wrestle Talk content creator of the week. This young lady is knocking it out of the park right now. Our creator of the week is Mia V, ring announcer. And this little young lady is doing some ring announcing clips for the WWE, man. I think we got a future star, a future ring announcer. Because man, the way her tone, the way she delivers, this young lady brings it and then some. And man, oh man, if you're not following her, give her a follow because you will love her content. I mean, the way she says Chelsea Green, oh my gosh, she may say it the best, and that's saying something. So, but nonetheless, Mia, you are our Wrestle Talk content creator of the week. And finally, here on PW60, we were saddened to learn of the loss of not one, but 2 great wrestling legends. General Adon, the former General Adon, passed away earlier this week, as well as Brett Wayne. Now, for those of you who don't know, Brett Wayne was a very popular wrestler in the NWA, actually a former NWA Pacific Northwest heavyweight champion. So we worked predominantly in that area, but he was a great talent, a great wrestler, and he will be missed, as well as the late great General Adon, who, man, oh man, I remember him as a kid, man, being the manager of Sergeant Slaughter. Of course, this is the Sergeant Slaughter turned as a Iraqi sympathizer, man, but General Adon, he killed it. But I mean, he had a great career, of course. Going by Billy White Wolf or Aldan Al-Kasi. Just a phenomenal career throughout the years. And we were saddened to learn of the loss of these 2 legends. So we here at PW60, we want to wish their families all of our support and love sent in your way. And rest in peace, General Adon and Brett Wayne. Well, Mr. B-Roll, somehow we've done it again. We've covered another week in the world of professional wrestling. But hey, the clock starts ticking now as a new week will begin here. And so much more is going to happen because it always goes at a fast rate in the world of professional wrestling. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of PW60. I'm XLJ, the OG, joined by Mr. B-Roll. And we'll see you next week here on a brand new episode of Pro Wrestling 60.